So you need a mortgage, but you're not sure where to go. Should you go to a bank? Should you go to your mortgage broker? In this video, I'm going to explain what the best route is for you and your mortgage. Welcome back, guys. It's Tom here from Moffat Mortgages. As always, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe below. That way you won't miss the future videos. When it comes to getting a mortgage, you ultimately have two options. You can either A, go to the bank, or B, you can go to a mortgage agent / broker. And now, although I may be slightly biased, I will be going over the pros and cons of each option. Now, starting with going to your bank. Now, there are a few pros to going to your bank versus a mortgage broker. However, there aren't very many. So the first one being, lots of people go to the bank because they're just more familiar with banks versus really what a mortgage broker does. And I often see this with a lot of first-time home buyers. They're kind of confused as to who some of these lenders are that mortgage brokers work with. For example, obviously we work with banks, but we have monoline lenders as well as credit unions. And for someone that's new to purchasing a home, they may be a little confused as to who these lenders are. And that's ultimately why a lot of people do still go to their bank, is because they're really more familiar with the bank that they're currently with, and they don't really know a whole lot in terms of what mortgage brokers do. Shifting over to mortgage brokering, the reason why there's not many pros on the bank side is because a lot of the things banks do, us mortgage brokers do better. If you come to us with a specific mortgage problem or a scenario that may be unique, it may not fit with the banks, and that's where we have the upper hand in working with certain lenders that may approve you versus other banks. Now, another huge benefit of working with a broker is that we are there in your corner for the remainder of your mortgage. Whereas if you go to a bank, sure, they're there to help you out to get your original product, but you're essentially never really going to hear from them again unless it's a letter in the mail for renewal. Whereas us brokers, if we see, say, a rate special or something we know that can offer you a savings, we're going to be reaching out to you. So to give you an example, this past week I was working with a client who was who's actually closing in 2 weeks from now, and we were dealing with his mortgage for about 2 months, and we had his original rate at 1.65 variable. And over the past month or so, variable rates have actually gone down slightly. So we already had the mortgage set in place. The closing date was set. We had all the paper signed. However, what a mortgage broker does, such as myself, we monitor rates daily. So in the situation where a rate may drop, we're going to be reaching out to that client before the mortgage closes. So ultimately, what I did in this situation was the rate dropped to 1.5. and I was able to go back to the lender and request a rate change. Now, this saved the client 15 basis points. Now, tell me where and when a bank would go back to you offering you savings. Now, another reason why you would want to work with a mortgage agent or broker is the speed and communication. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get way better communication and you're going to have more speedy replies from a mortgage agent or a broker versus the bank. And the reason for that is the person you're dealing with at the bank, there's no fault to them for maybe not being as proficient as a broker. That's because they actually have a lot of things on their plate. The bank representative is most likely dealing with a whole lot of other products and services for their clients, such as RSPs or TFSAs, whereas a mortgage broker simply specializes in mortgages alone. So one more advantage that mortgage brokers have over banks is I like to educate my clients, especially first-time home buyers, because I don't want to necessarily just get them the best product for them. I want them to understand what they're getting and why they're getting it. Because in the future, it's only going to help them in their next purchase and to save money down the line. Whereas when you're going to a bank representative, 9 times out of 10, you will be just getting the product that they're offering you, and nothing against them, but they may not be as educated with mortgages as mortgage agents and brokers. So you may not be getting that education along with the product. Now, lastly, when you're coming up for renewal, you definitely want to have a broker in your corner. And the reason for this is because when you come up for renewal, you want to have those options to shop around. The benefit of having a mortgage broker is you get to shop around versus if you stick with your bank and you sign the renewal paper, you're sticking with them and you don't know if there's another option out there that best suits you. Now, in my honest yet slightly biased opinion, I do believe mortgage agents and brokers are your best option because at the end of the day, they're simply there for you and they offer better options and better service. Now, as a side note, the reason why I got into mortgage brokering was because of my first mortgage experience going to the bank. Needless to say, it wasn't a very positive experience. And the reason for that is because when I was about 23, I purchased my first condo. It was a pre-construction condo, and long story short, it ended up being super delayed. Now, instead of waiting, I wanted to maybe explore the option of buying a pre-existing condo. So what I did was I went back to my bank and I said, hey, I know I have a pre-approval from you guys for my new construction condo. However, I want to explore the option of purchasing a second condo to live in the meantime until I get my new construction condo. Now, at the end of the day, the bank actually denied me of getting the pre-approval for the second condo. So I didn't want to take no for an answer, and a friend of mine actually recommended a mortgage broker to me. Now, being young and naive, I had no idea what a mortgage broker was, but I decided to explore the option. And lo and behold, I was actually approved from the mortgage broker in less than 4 days. What the bank rep failed to notice was I didn't actually have to put 20% down for this pre-existing condo. And the reason why she thought I had to was because whenever you own a second property as a rental or second property in general, you typically have to have 20% down. Now, in my case, I didn't have a mortgage in my name already. So technically, I only had to put 5% down for this pre-existing condo. Now, if you're working in the mortgage space, this is pretty common knowledge, and this shouldn't be mistaken for. Now, I'm not here to hate on the banks at all. I still think there are some good bank reps out there. However, at the end of the day, mortgage brokers are more educated and they have more experience. So for those of you who already have a mortgage, let me know in the comment section down below whether you'd rather go to the bank or go to a broker. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to see more videos in the future. Cheers, guys.